This week on Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast, we talk about the latest Strange New Worlds episode, the Serene Squall. That's a tongue twister. And we do a little catch up as I'm finally back to mostly healthy status. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Johnson.
Hey, Mike. How
are you doing tonight?
I'm fine. Are you fully recovered? Are you negative now?
I am negative. Yes. Yes. So I am negative for COVID, and it took a while. Yes.
But now you're clear. So, yeah. And now you have super immunity for maybe a few months.
I hope so. Yes, I hope. But I have a lot of phlegm too, which I hear is something that just hangs around for a little while.
I had a postnasal drip for a couple of weeks after getting COVID last time.
Yeah, that seems to be the most prevalent symptom that continues.
It's more annoying than anything.
Yeah.
But I'm an allergy sufferer. One of our executive producers also has COVID. So
yes, he and his wife both have it. Yeah. And it's. I mean, I would say that my case was not a mild case. It was more of on the moderate side. So I have not been that sick for quite some time, and I'm glad it's over.
Well, you made it. You survived.
Yeah, possibly. Thank you, science.
Yes. Hopefully there's no lingering issues. But yeah, you made it. You made it to the other end.
I did. Yes. And so I still feel like my sleep is a little off, but not bad. But the phlegm is the big issue. But it is what it is.
I mean, but you already take a decongestant. You take antihistamines. Are you taking anything else right now? Because I got some sort of steroid spray for the postnasal drip from one of my doctors.
Oh wow, no, I just take my normal allergy decongestant. So, got it. And some Flonase. I don't think I took the Flonase today though. So yeah, we'll see. I may pick up some Mucinex or something to help with the phlegm.
Yes, I love Mucinex.
But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, so it's good to be back in the land of living and healthy. The healthy, yes. And it's nice to not have to wear a mask everywhere.
Yeah. And you and Dennis had a date night Saturday. You guys
we did.
Hang out.
Yeah.
Make out. It was a great time.
Yes.
I wasn't there, but.
No, you weren't there. But yeah, no, I picked him up after work and we went out to dinner and had wine, and yeah, it was a nice date night.
Yeah, that's great. Are we doing anything for Pride? Yeah. Happy Pride, everyone! Again, it was like we forgot last time. We were like, Pride at the very end of last week's episode. We tacked it on. But are we having dinner? Yes. I don't even know. It seems inconclusive. I'm not quite sure. You're doing a Pride run, so you're contributing to the cause.
I'm doing Pride run on Saturday morning, and then
you have
brunch plan. Are we doing dinner Saturday night? No,
I'm not clear.
No.
Yeah, Tony, one of our friends, he wanted to do drinks Saturday night. I'm free Sunday night, but Sunday night he's low energy, so he can't come out with us. I don't know.
Yes, he goes back into his coffin for the night on Sunday nights.
If anything, I should have a coffin. Where's my coffin?
I mean, yes. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know at all why you don't have a coffin. So let's see. So Saturday I'm doing the Pride run. Sunday night, So Tony and Dennis and I are talking about doing drinks. But then
I could
you
probably do
are,
drinks. I have a birthday dinner to go to, so
yes, you have a later birthday dinner, which
I
is
do. I do. It's
off
late.
schedule for
But you
you.
know what? I'm flexible. I'm laid back. I go with the flow. Hence, I am
Yes.
having dinner at 9:30. It's like we're in Spain or something. But
Yes,
you
it
know
does
what?
seem
Though
like you're in
I
Spain.
when I went to Spain, you eat dinner at like 9:30, 10. Like literally, I
Yeah.
remember going to dinner at 9. We thought it was late. We were the only ones there. By the time we left at like 10:30, people were coming in. So it's just very different. But you get used
Yep.
to it. You just get used to eating late. It's like, and then you get up late. It's just that's the lifestyle. So
Yeah, it's a
yes,
different
I'm
life.
amenable. I'm always amenable, always flexible. So
Except when you're hangry and then you're hangry.
I
And
suppose.
and then it's yes.
I suppose.
So yeah, I guess we'll have drinks on Saturday night. I have
Yes.
brunch plans on
You have brunch plans Saturday
Sunday.
and Sunday.
Yes, apparently, yes, I do. It'll be a very busy weekend.
Apparently.
Um, and so yeah, and then I don't know what we're doing Sunday night. I guess we're doing dinner with you
I
on Sunday night.
suppose. I mean, I'm
I
free.
think,
So
yeah. So I guess we're doing dinner on Sunday. Um,
I guess.
yes. Although
Yeah.
the brunch plans on Sunday are interestingly seem to be becoming more complex. It's a bigger group now,
Oh, okay.
and there's talk about going to the parade afterwards. I don't know if I'm really
Oh
up for the
God.
parade.
I'm not a parade person.
Um, but we'll see. And then yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be a busy Pride. So
Yeah, but June's
um,
almost over. Basically it means June's almost over. And
yes, but the funny thing
July
about
4th.
this year is that you have almost a full work week after Pride before June is over.
Yeah,
So
usually it's like it
yeah,
is obviously last weekend, but it's also usually you're done with the month. But
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
here
so
we
that's a
are.
little weird. Um, and I have Pride service at church on Sunday morning too.
Oh,
So
you have Pride service. That's
mhm.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
cool. What does that entail?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's got a different theme. There's a conversation instead of a sermon. There's
Oh. Are you
yeah.
participating in any way?
No, I'm not. No. I'm
Mm.
not participating in any way. I accept going. Um, and I'm going not only because of that, but because I missed the graduation service like 2 weeks ago, and so I'm hoping that the seniors are going to be there so I can say hi and give them hugs and congratulate them and all that. So
That's
that's
nice.
really why I'm going.
Speaking of church service, so I went to visit my mom this past weekend. Since we're on this
Oh
theme,
yes, right.
I went to visit my
How is mom, by
mom.
the way?
What was that?
How is mom?
She's doing okay. She's doing all right. But I have brought her further into the 21st century because now she has Wi-Fi. I started with Wi-Fi,
Oh
and
my.
it was a very last minute thing because we were just talking. It was like it kind of spiraled because she has cable, she has like dish or whatever, and she doesn't watch anymore because she's just on her phone all the time. And then she was like, "Oh, I wish the screen was bigger because the phone it kind of is so small." And I'm like, "Do you want an iPad?" And she's like, "What's that?" And I explained. I was like, "It's a bigger version of a phone." But I was like, "But you need Wi-Fi." And she's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Well, it allows you to connect to the internet. It's different from the phone, but it's like a big phone." And I was like, you should get rid of Dish and get Wi-Fi instead. And she was like, "Oh, I can do that." I was like, "Okay." And then, I was like just thinking through options. I was like, "Oh, we can do the T-Mobile 5G at home thing," which is now a thing. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but T-Mobile basically has they sell you now like a Wi-Fi hub, and
Oh,
it doesn't require any wires. It's literally it connects to 5G. It's basically like a hotspot, but it's Wi-Fi for your home, and it's a
oh,
modem and a router.
okay,
And it's like $50 a month. It's really if you have
okay.
good service for it works. It was a process getting it set up because they made some mistake on the back end, but we literally went to the mall, went to the T-Mobile store, got her this 5G gateway.
Wow.
Went to the Apple store, got her an iPad. It was all one visit. And I was like, how about you get an iPad Air? It's light and it's convenient. And she was like, how about this one? And I'm like, this is much bigger. It was iPad Pro. You do not need this.
Like, she wanted a Pro.
She wants the 13-inch Pro. I'm like, okay. And then I'm asking the store, the salesperson, and he is like, we only have the 512 gig one. And I'm like, it's $1,500. I'm like, but she doesn't need this. And she was like, oh, but you hear, so you can just set it up, because I was like, oh, we order it. Like, and I was like, okay, I guess we can do this. So I got her the 512 gig one, which she does not need. She does not need 512 gigs of storage in her iPad.
Oh, my word.
So literally it just all happened this weekend. And then she canceled Dish on Saturday. So she canceled Dish. She now has 5G internet at home and she has an iPad Pro. It all happened and escalated very quickly.
Oh my gosh, it really did. Yes.
Yeah. So I brought her very quickly into the 21st century. And then she had all these questions from me about the iPad. I'm like, it's the same. But it is a little bit different because the screen is bigger and whatever.
So she got the 13-inch Pro.
Correct.
With 512 gigs of storage space.
Correct. I have like an iPad from like 2011. Like whatever. Like she's more advanced than me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was so unnecessary. And I was like, but the iPad Air makes sense. You're an old lady. And she was like, no, I want the one with the biggest screen. And I'm like, sure. So that
look at you being a good son, taking care of your mom's technology needs, bringing her into the 21st century.
Yes. I mean, and then next time I go home, I'm going to, I don't know if she needs any smart plugs. I don't think so, but I was thinking about this. It might be too much. I am going to, she has now she has these TVs that don't have like cable or anything. So I'm going to get her, I'm going to get her some Chromecasts so she can cast.
Oh my.
What she's watching to the TV. We'll see how that goes.
Oh my gosh.
So, but now because now she has Wi-Fi. Before it wasn't possible.
Oh, there we go.
But no, it was interesting. I only, that was kind of a rabbit hole. But I brought this up because my mom, she does listen to like church service on Sundays. Like she streams church service or whatever, and she streams the church that we used to go to, like the Chinese church that we used to go to. And it was a little triggering. It was very interesting because this Sunday they talked. Basically, the pastor was talking about how he was basically talking about the degradation of the nuclear family because of like the gay stuff and transgender stuff. And he's saying stuff like, oh, now, and it's actually relevant to the episode we're going to talk about as well. He's like, yeah, like, now people can, boys can say they're girls can say they're boys. It used to be like the ABCs at school. Now it's the gay BCs. I'm like, this is triggering. I was just like, and he was saying like, yeah, we need to like get back to our roots, get back to what, Christianity is all about in terms of family values. Word. And then he gave this, it was very triggering because he gave this whole story about how there was this kid. He may name names, but I don't remember. He was giving this example of like how there's this guy, he's gay, he has AIDS, he smokes weed. I was like, okay. And his mom, when she found out that he was gay, committed suicide. And I was like, wait, so now it's his fault that his mom committed suicide? And of course, he found Jesus. I'm like, this bullshit. I just can't. It was so triggering. And my mom was there. She was actually like listening, but she was doing other stuff. And I was like, I don't agree with this, because I was like listening. I was playing Pokemon, but I was listening. And I was like, I don't agree with this. And then she like gave me this look. We did not discuss it. But I was just like, God, it was just like, this is the kind of environment that we grew up in. And it continues to be propagated. It's just that, we're in this Manhattan bubble. We just don't hear it enough. And literally it goes back, I go back to Staten Island, and it's day to day, So that, I only brought this up because you're talking about how your church is having Pride service, and it's just such a disparity. It's just so interesting.
So, I mean,
anyway.
Yeah, that was sort of triggering hearing that story. So,
oh my God, I was like, literally, you're gonna blame the gay guy for, of course, and of course he chooses the quote unquote example of a depraved gay person, quote unquote, and it's this person's fault that his mom committed suicide because he chose to be gay. I'm like, this, it just made me so angry. It's just like whatever. I mean, but wow. It is what, this is the kind of discourse that is happening in a lot of places, unfortunately.
Is it more of a fundamentalist, like, Christian church, or
it's like, it's just like with certain topics they're more right-leaning, because this is the church that I grew up in, and my mom actually was on the pastoral staff. So it's not, they allow women to kind of be in these leadership positions, where some very conservative churches don't even allow. So it's like funny. It's like in some areas they're open, in other areas they're very conservative, I suppose. But it was definitely triggering, for sure.
Yeah,
1,000%.
That is mainly why I left organized religion for so long.
I don't blame anyone that does that, to be totally honest. So yeah, it's anyway, happy Pride, everyone.
Well, I think the moral of that story is that we continue to need pride, right? We need to continue, the work continues to just have to have a diverse world, which I believe that God created a diverse world and diverse individuals, and so it just shows that there's still a lot of work, and it's sad to hear that that's, well, it's happening everywhere. I think
it's everywhere. It was just it was very close to home, literally, so and of course, my mom and I we don't talk about that stuff. It's kind of like it's kind of valet parked. So anyway,
for me, it's more parked in the garage in the back that is abandoned and the roof is falling in. But yes,
good analogy.
It's nice that your car is valet parked. Mine would be in the beaten down garage.
I don't know. Maybe one day we'll have a meaningful conversation about it, but I don't know. It's been a while since I came out to her, and we haven't been able to talk about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe one day.
Well, maybe one day. All things considered.
So, on that note,
I mean, I feel like where should we go from here?
I know, what's the best way to segue?
Well, I guess we should get into talking about some Star Trek. I feel slightly traumatized right now. So,
all right. Well,
I'm
ready to talk about Star Trek.
Yeah. So you're going to take us through something new on how we talk about this week's episode.
Yes. So why don't we get into talking about this week's episode, The Serene Squall, episode 7 of season 1 of Strange New Worlds.
May I help you, Counselor?
I came to ask you that.
Have I acted in a way that suggests I need assistance?
No. That's why I ask.
I would welcome your aid with these scans of the asteroid field. I'm endeavoring to learn more about how the Serene Squall operates.
You looked like you were going to have a heart attack when Pike told you to go with your gut.
Captain Pike is comfortable operating off of hunches. I have found the experience to be disturbingly similar to guessing.
And what's wrong with guessing?
They're derived from incomplete premises. It is illogical.
Says you.
Says all Vulcans.
Well, aren't you half human?
That is merely genetics. I was raised on Vulcan.
And that's geography. Spock. You know, all species put things into boxes. It's like you're either this or you're that. And sometimes we act a certain way to fit people's expectations, but that's not necessarily who we are. And sometimes, like on the bridge just now, they can limit us.
You are proposing I better balance my human and Vulcan natures.
I'm saying maybe you're neither.
That is nonsensical. If I'm not human or Vulcan, what am I?
I mean, that's not my question to answer. Sorry. Boundaries. I've just known a few Vulcans as well.
Cool. Okay, so I did a little bit of homework and I had proposed to you maybe changing the way that we have these episode discussions. And we've definitely have done episodic discussions in different ways. You know, it's like, it's actually very appropriate. It's very much like Changing Worlds, where every episode they can try something different. It's like Deep Space Pride. Every episode we can talk about each episode in a different way. It's not serialized. It's basically episodic. Welcome. Yes. Welcome to our episodic podcast. And in this week's episode, we're going to try to do it a different way, where we are going to kind of do it in more of a episode recap format, where sometimes, you know, we had discussions around trying to base our discussion around themes or characters or kind of like highlights, which I think all work. They have all their own merits. But I think sometimes we each get on like soapbox and talk for like 10 minutes, and then you talk for 10 minutes, and then I talk for 10 minutes. And I was just trying to think, like, how can we make this more discussion oriented? Not that we don't have discussion, but sometimes it's literally like we get so passionate about the points we want to make that we literally just can't stop talking. So I want to try this, and we'll see if it works, and we'll see whether or not it continues. You know, it's like literally, it's like if it doesn't work, next episode we try something else. You know, it's like Changing Worlds in that way. It's very meta. So I took copious notes. I will try to read my notes so that I kind of carry us along during this discussion. And some of it, like I mentioned to you, is chicken scratch. I cross out a few things and like, I don't know how if I'm going to be able to navigate this well. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You literally took notes like you were in class, like physical paper notes.
Yes, I was like scribbling things down. So
yes. Okay.
Well, before we get into it, we can talk very high level thoughts. High level, Mike, what do you think of this episode?
I loved it. I thought it was a great episode from start to finish. I thought that the character of Dr. Aspen / Angel, Captain Angel, was fascinating to say the least. I mean, I thought that
played by Jesse James Keitel.
Yeah, I thought she did a great job playing them. I thought that she played off the crew really well. I thought it was just it was an episode that you feel stupid for not seeing it coming, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that Jesse James Keitel did. Can we just call her Jesse? I don't know. I thought Jesse did a great job. And just a point of clarification for our listeners, because this is something that I had to learn and I had to clarify with Mike. Jesse goes by she, her, hers pronouns. Meanwhile, Dr. Aspen / Captain Angel goes by they, them pronouns. So even for me, it's a little confusing. I'll be totally honest. I'm not the best at pronoun use sometimes. And I admit that I need to sometimes get better at that. And we've talked about this a little bit, even when we're talking about like Adira, on Discovery and things like that. And we've messed up. This is particularly confusing to me because the actress goes by certain pronouns while the character goes by certain pronouns. So I will do my best. But in any case, yes, I thought that Jesse did a great job. I did not see it coming either, though I did feel like we just had an episode where we had a really sympathetic character that had turned. It was like we just literally had another episode right before. Lift us where suffering cannot reach. Like literally with Laura, we had kind of the same situation. So I did think like back to back, I was like, oh, like, another guest character that seems like, sympathetic, a do-gooder, and then suddenly like, oh, never mind. But that being said, I did, I thought that Jesse did a great job, particularly with Ethan Peck. I thought that they had great chemistry overall. Yes. I did feel, and we can talk about this a little more. I wasn't sure how I initially felt because we don't get that many non-binary transgender characters, transgender actresses in this case on the show. And then they turn out to be a villain in this case. So I was like, I don't know how I felt about that initially. But then, it was like, it's okay. It's like you can have good guys, bad guys. In this case, I really enjoyed her performance as Dr. Aspen, and it seems like it's potentially recurring. So I'm like, okay, interesting. I think, we haven't seen the last of Dr. Aspen / Captain Angel, whatever. And yeah, I did think that once the reveal happens, they become a little bit like B villain, like, missing a mustache curl a little bit.
I
think that she really played into it, like the villainy of it. It was a little over the top. It was like she was literally cackling, evil cackling, she
was.
But I still ultimately enjoyed the flair that Jesse brought to the character. So in any case, okay, cool. All right. So in this episode, so we start on T'Pring actually on this rehabilitation center. I did not write the name of this down because it was like a hot mess, but whatever. So we see, we get our voiceover, and then we get her reaching out to Sybok, and she's studying human sexuality. And
but can we go back for 1 second?
Oh yeah, sure.
So the person who tells her that Sybok is calling, right?
Oh, this is later.
Oh, is that later?
Yes. It was
okay. Stan. It's Stan.
Stan, yes, that's later. That's when that's when Captain Angel is calling.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Never mind then.
So she's like observing, like they're like painting and they're like doing like Zen gardens. And then her voiceover is like, like I need to understand Sybok better. And then she takes out her iPad and reaches out to Sybok. And it's like, I've been studying human sexuality. And Sybok like gags on his wine. Like, by the way, everyone drinks wine on the Enterprise. I don't know if you noticed this. They're drinking wine all the time. I've never seen so much wine being drunk on like a Star Trek show, but
I love it. It's great. Drink more. That's great.
And they have like nice glasses. I'm like, where do they get those glasses? Like CB2? Like I want these glasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Sybok like gags, which I thought was I was like, oh, he, Sybok is definitely more emotive in Strange New Worlds, and I was like, I don't think like like our traditional Sybok would have gagged on like, or he wouldn't have had that like kind of gag reflex at someone mentioning human sexuality. But he has a reaction, and he's like, oh, maybe we should like be studying these texts together, things like that. And I think this is where we get introduced to, again, in this episode, the conflict that Spock is feeling about his human and Vulcan side, which is the through line for this whole episode, which that was a good intro. And then we get into him again talking to Nurse Chapel about the struggle that he has with T'Pring. I want to get your thoughts on this, because it's like, it's good. It's like this budding friendship. We see it happening. But then, I'm curious as to what you think about this friendship that they have, and him then constantly going to her for relationship advice.
Yeah. I like it, and I also think it's awkward. Yeah. So I sort of
not
have
just
mixed
me.
feelings.
I was like, it's kind of awkward.
No. I think I've got mixed feelings about it. I mean, I think it's I think it's, and my mixed feelings are like, do we really need like and this is gonna date me, like a Cheers, I want to say Jack and Diane, but that's not it. Sam and Diane.
I never got.
Or do we need this like this sexual tension on the Enterprise? And so that's my like hesitation, is like, do we need this?
And I know they're like, they have playful banter. It's kind of awkward because she said something along the lines of like, so what, what are you supposed to like tell me as I'm talking to you, or and then he's like, that you're like charming. I'm like, they're flirty, you know what I mean? It's like kind of inappropriate.
Yeah, she's but she has been that way since the beginning of the show. So
but I think the problem is he's like letting it continue. He's like,
yes, sure,
not being flirty. That's the thing. He's allowing the flirtiness to, he's not Dom, like Spock's not Dom, but
I think he's kind of not aware of the implications of it or the meaning, because he does kind of mention in several cases like not understanding human behavior.
Maybe he needs to read Tropic of Cancer, which apparently T'Pring read, but he has not. I don't know.
Yes,
maybe he needs to read he needs to read some like modern, like not modern, like classical 21st century text on human sexuality and human flirting. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, kudos to her for T'Pring for like exploring this side and trying to get to know, like, she's investing in the relationship.
Yeah, she's trying.
Great.
Exactly. She's trying.
But going back to Chapel for a second, I like Chapel's playfulness. I just wish there was another foil for it. I wish it would be more like, and not the flirtiness, but that sort of banter. I wish that was more with Ortegas, because I thought they had a great banter.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in Spock Amok. Yes.
So I wish we would see more of that over her and Spock having this banter. I think. Yeah, it fits the story for this episode, and it also fits kind of this characterization of Christine Chapel as being someone who, in the original series, was, sort of in love with Spock, I guess. So they're sort of playing into that, maybe a little too much.
I think the problem is, we brought this up a couple of episodes ago. I feel that Nurse Chapel is purely now defined by the feelings that she has for Spock, which is,
yes.
She's kind of she's not one-dimensional, but she does. I literally don't know anything about her other than the fact that she's into hooking up. Basically, she's into hooking up.
Yeah.
Into flings, but she's also kind of in love with Spock. Like, other than that, I really don't know much about her.
Well, I think she's a virologist, right, or something like that. She has she in episode 1, we're told that she it's not
cosmetic surgery, but she basically is a specialist.
Genetic manipulation.
Yes, correct. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I agree. I do think that we're getting a little one note, and I hope that this episode is sort of the end of it. Although I think obviously the nice thing about Strange New Worlds is that there are repercussions, right? That this continue, like her feelings continue, her feelings, and you could tell that while he was playing a part towards the end, there was some intensity on her part when we get to that part of this show. So. I hope that, we kind of leave this and move on to some other things. I think that, I think her and Ortegas have a great banter, and I would really like to see more of that. I'd love to see more of Ortegas, period, to be honest with you. So Melissa Navio is awesome. And
if you get more of her in the next episode, kind of, but yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yes, we do. Yeah. Yes, we do. So anyway.
So yes.
So why don't you continue on with so that's sort of how
the episode recap, which is the format of this particular.
Yes. Keep going. Keep taking us through.
Yes. So then we go to Captain Pike's quarters, where he's hosting another fabulous dinner with food they barely touch, by the way, and wine again. Everyone's drinking wine. I want this wine and I want those glasses. And this is where we get introduced to Dr. Aspen, played by Jesse James Keitel, who is a counselor, ex-Federation counselor, and is now basically an ambassador of sorts, and is has appealed to the Federation to help these poor colonists that are starving at the edge of Federation space. So I liked the introduction of Dr. Aspen. We get, it's another one of these like very, especially it reminded very TNG era. It's like, it's like guest of the week. It's ambassador type of person on the ship who is on a mission of mercy. And I was okay. And I actually, I liked how we were introduced to Dr. Aspen, but I'm also like, knowing what we know later, I'm like, wait, I don't understand. Do they not do like a more extensive background check? These colonists who apparently Dr. Aspen / Captain Angel made up later, say that they made up rather. Did no one kind of do like a more thorough investigation as to whether or not these colonists exist? Apparently Dr. Aspen, Captain Angel took the place of Dr. Aspen, but is there no checks on like, oh, is this really this person? Like there was just like a little bit of like skipping of the details. It didn't really ruin for me. I thought it's more like I thought about it afterwards. I was like, oh, so they made everything up and the Federation sends a flagship to kind of check it out. I don't know. I was like, sure. I'd have bought into it. Yeah. It was just like, upon scrutiny, I was like, I don't know. I would have probably done more of an extensive like dive into this person's story than sending a crew to the edge of Federation space into dangerous territory to go on a mission of mercy or whatever.
Yes, I can see where I did not get tied up into that detail.
I didn't get too tied up into it. I was just like, sometimes I like think through the logic of things, like the nuts and bolts of things. Me, I'm like, I think through like these details, and it's like, does it make sense? It's fine. It's fine.
Right. Yes. Yep.
But again, wine, and it's great. It's great. And then they get called to the bridge. They go to where the colonists were last seen. They find debris, and Captain Pike decides to go into non-Federation territory. He leaves behind a communications buoy, and they're like, this is going into the unknown. So we do that, and we head deeper in to find apparently a third colony ship that is potentially out there. So then once we cut back from the titles, we get more time with Dr. Aspen and Sybok. And I really liked these character moments between Dr. Aspen / Captain Angel and Spock. And I feel that like, even though we get, once Captain Angel reveals themselves and they're a little villainous, I feel that, and I don't know what your feelings about it are, I feel that in a certain level, they actually do care about Spock. Like, they want Sybok, obviously, but it's like there is a part, even like right before Captain Angel beams off the ship at the very end of the episode, they're like, again, they say to Spock, it's not what you are, it's who you are. That's something you need to remember. And I feel there, obviously there's this ulterior motive and there's entrapment happening and manipulation, but I'm curious to know your thoughts about like their thought process and these moments, these scenes that we have with Spock.
I mean, I like the chemistry between the two characters. I like that. I mean, the main point of the episode is that he's struggling with balancing his Vulcan and human sides. Obviously, T'Pring kind of brings that up. And so there's that, coupled with obviously the kind of the duplicity, but also I guess it's the duplicity, but it's also the way that Dr. Aspen kind of presents themselves as, someone, who's doesn't like to be put into a box. I mean, I think that
right,
that conversation,
yes.
Was just filled with so much great stuff. I mean, that is like the heart of this episode, I think, is this idea of like, you can't put yourself into like identifying who you are by what you are is not necessarily, the whole picture. And you can build sort of like you can build your own picture. And so it's interesting. Yeah, you get that sort of speech and you don't really know where they're coming from, but you're bought into it because the character is non-binary and is so it's just an interesting, it's a really interesting scene. But that happens after I think that happens after they get trapped in the laser.
So there are a couple of different conversations. You're conflating them a little bit, but it's fine because it's kind of like a continuous conversation that they're having. So they have like a initial conversation before they get trapped in the Tholian web-like thing.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about how Spock is looking forward to his Colonar. So that's in the turbo lift. And then it's kind of a continuous discussion over multiple scenes. This is like the first one where it's one-on-one between the two of them. Got it. To your point, I think not that this episode is I don't think Star Trek has a very light touch when it comes to metaphor. Like, it's like, okay, I get it. You're talking about Spock, who's Spock is torn between two worlds. And we have this non-binary character who's, one thing I did really like, though, is that, and this is one thing I complain about Discovery, is, and we have differing views on this, I did not like how Adira came out, quote unquote, came out, because I thought it was a very 21st century kind of conversation, whereas Adira is a citizen of the 31st century, and I feel a coming out conversation in that time would look very different, where Adira said that they don't feel like a she, right? In this episode, it's not a big deal. Like, Dr. Aspen doesn't say like, oh, by the way, these are my pronouns. It is what it is. It's kind of like, it's like almost like whatever. And if you don't, you can literally not notice it. Like, you can literally not notice that the crew uses they, them pronouns when referring to Dr. Aspen / Captain Angel. The character doesn't make a big deal out of it. Literally, if you watch this episode, if Paramount didn't put out that press release about Jesse James Keitel is a non-binary transgender character, transgender actress being cast like I may not have caught all of that. And I actually really like that. I really like that they didn't make a big deal of it. It was more about Spock and his identity. And obviously there's more layers to it because he's being spoken to. He's conversing with someone who has gone through similar struggles with identity. But at the same time, it's not about the non-binary transgender element of Dr. Aspen. So I did like that. But
yeah, it was really well done. I mean, I know that it wasn't hit you over the head. I don't know. I maybe it was Jesse's portrayal of Dr. Aspen. It just was, I mean, she plays a mesmerizing character. I mean,
yeah, she's
from the beginning.
She does just a great job with the character.
I mean,
really draws you in.
I don't know. I haven't seen the new Queer as Folk, so I don't know anything about
Peacock,
her other portrayals.
Like, Peacock's even worse than Paramount Plus. I can't.
Yes.
Peacock.
Yes. Yeah. There's gonna be more streaming services than there is time in a day by the time this is all over. But so I don't know what her experience is playing other characters, but the way that she plays this character, it's just a very mesmerizing character. She's got charisma.
Yes.
Or Dr. Aspen has this charisma, and
I just like the way
speaking.
that the actress carries herself. Very, very confident, like just a very confident way of carrying themselves. Which staying
which totally makes sense when you get the reveal of who Dr. Aspen really is. When they.
But I just like that they were able to stand toe to toe with Spock. Like no backing down, and they just have really good banter and chemistry.
Yeah. Not unlike, to some extent, Christine Chappell and, Jess Bush and, Ethan Peck. So it's nice to see this chemistry. And we've talked about it before with the cast so early, in the first season. I mean, this is really shaping up to be a phenomenal first season for Strange New Worlds, which is awesome to get such high quality shows.
By the way, I'm only 20% through my recap. Just FYI.
I know. I know. FYI. I feel like we're gonna have to time bound this a little bit, like we were talking about in dates.
Well, we're also jumping ahead. We're jumping ahead to some later plot points.
Yes.
So it's okay.
But I don't know. Like I said, I think she plays just this charismatic character, and it's so divergent from the crew of the Enterprise, yet they become part of the crew almost in a way that is just
the Strange New Worlds version of Kai Wynn, who we love to hate. But
I really hate Kai Wynn. I don't know that I love
Kai Wynn. I love Kai Wynn.
I know I do not.
Such a complex character.
Yes, absolutely, no doubt. No, I really, really, really like Captain Angel / Dr. Aspen, and I really want to see them in more.
Yeah, so I think Kai Wynn, I think on average appeared on DS9 once a season, except for the last season. Pretty much.
I mean, I think Kai Wynn was in more than one episode a season, but sure. I forget. I want to say that she was in like double-digit episodes, but anyway,
it was in 14 episodes by the end.
Okay, that's funny. I remember there was 14. Anyway, I enjoy this character, so I love what it brought to this show.
I want
yes. Perhaps we should move forward in your recap.
Okay, so the Enterprise follows Distract Signal, which leads them to this Tholian web-like trap, which when we saw the preview for Strange New Worlds, you and I were both like, ooh, Tholian web. And it's not.
Yes,
it's this,
correct.
Tholian web-like thing. But surely they they were like this like laser trap. I mean, like the laser web or whatever. I mean, I'm sure it was done on purpose, like that this is Tholian web. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of connection, but we don't get that.
I mean, I think it's just the standard like electric net, thing.
But it's such a specific look in the way it constructs as well. Like the way the threads form, it's very Tholian web like. You know what I mean?
Yes, but they go from asteroid to asteroid. It's all based on asteroids.
I understand. So. No, we do. I'm not saying, of course, we don't get any Tholian chips. Duh, I understand this. I'm just saying it was very reminiscent. Like, that's why everyone was like, it wasn't just you and me. It was like, oh, Tholians, Yes. So, but this is where Spock basically needs to make a guess. And he needs to lean on his human side and kind of just be like, all right, just pick one. And fortunately, he picked the right one. But this is where we then get a follow-up conversation between Dr. Aspen and Spock about him struggling to find the balance between his human and Vulcan sides. And this is where Dr. Aspen first posits that maybe you don't have to choose, or maybe you're neither. And then Spock is like, then what am I? And then Dr. Aspen, which I really like this, the way that they responded, and they were just like, that's not up to me to answer. I can't answer that for you. I really like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That was good.
So then we finally find the third colony ship. Pike beams over, and then they find that it's a trap. And I feel the Enterprise was taken over very quickly. And it was just like, it happened so fast. They got boarded and they got taken over. We meet this Orion Remy, who's apparently the quote unquote leader of the Serene Squall, of these pirates. And we cut to commercial break. And basically the Enterprise is taken over, and and then Una locks out the command codes and whatnot.
Right. So these are the scenes that we saw in the preview where they're fighting off a battle station's boarding issue, which I thought was really good. It felt a lot, it felt weird to have them be taken over so quickly, but
I'm like, surely there has to be something. I don't know. It was just like they beamed over and they took over the ship.
Apparently La'an is the only security officer in this whole ship. I
know. Can they put like force fields or something, or I don't know. It was kind of
it was a little too easy, but they needed
to carry the story forward, so here we go. This is also the first episode where I think we get a lot of use out of the classic Jeffries tubes. We get a lot of those like long shots.
Yes, we do.
Really colorful Jeffries tubes, very different than the ones we have on TNG moving forward. And I liked the use of the Jeffries tubes in this episode.
Well, they're based upon what we saw in, the one set that we actually saw on the tour, and
correct.
Got to have our picture taken from.
What's the name of the town again?
Oh, I don't remember. I apologize.
The one in upstate New York.
Yes, upstate New York. Yes, I can't think of it.
You're supposed to remember these things. Ticonderoga. There we go. Ticonderoga. Yes. Thank you very much.
So you get the updated look of the Jeffries tubes for the 21st century, which look phenomenal. Chapel uses it, and then
Spock uses it. Yeah, Spock uses
it. And
Dr. Aspen uses it.
Dr. Aspen uses it. So yes, very, very cool use of that. I agree. Nice touch.
Yes. So then we get to Pike on the Serene Squall, and he is negotiating, or rather Remy is trying to get him to give up the command codes. And
Pike, you skipped the whole part of when they were, they beamed over and they got ambushed.
No, I gave up. I'm trying to get through this recap quickly. I did say They find the colony ship, and then Pike leads the way mission, beams over as a trap, and the Enterprise gets taken over. I got through that very, very quickly. So yes. So this is where Pike is talking to Remy, and he is like, "Oh, you guys need better food. I can cook you all a meal." I'm like, all right, this is kind of like, I thought it was kind of silly. And I was like, you're cooking for like how many people? Like 40, 50 people? Like, how long is this meal prep gonna take? I'm just like, it takes me like 3 hours to cook for like 6 people, let alone like however many we're talking about. Right. But then Remy was like, and we kind of dropped it because Remy was kind of trying to threaten Pike by saying, "Oh, maybe I should like space your crew members, and you'll give me the kind of goes that way." But Pike would definitely have caved if he started to literally like space crew members. Like, come on! But we don't go down that road. We then go back to the Enterprise. So Pike is starting to cook, starting to do some meal prep, and then we go back to the Enterprise. We see Nurse Chapel. She hasn't been captured yet. She kicks some ass. She knocks out a few people with a hypo spray.
Yep.
And then we go back to the Serene Squall, and this is where Pike is serving his 12-hour dinner. Like, I don't know how long it took to make everything. And he's starting to suss things out, and he's starting to sense that there's the potential for a mutiny. And this mutiny happens very quickly. It escalates very quickly. I thought it was like too easy for them to incite a mutiny, but here we are. We need to wrap everything up in one episode, so it kind of went quickly. Then we get Spock.
Well, you see, you kind of see the seeds of that beginning. You know, Pike picks that up pretty quickly when he notices. He's very aware, even getting the crap beaten out of him. He's aware of the crew's interactions around him, and you know, he's being, you know.
It's when Remy was like, pointed. "Oh, we're going to sell you to the Klingons," and then Remy's crew is like, Klingons.
He's planting seeds right from the, you know. I mean, Pike is a crafty captain, but also,
his hair looks great even as he's getting interrogated. I was like, it looks a little bit more disheveled than usual, but I'm like, ooh, it's like attractive disheveled. Like, it's like good disheveled versus bad disheveled.
Daddy Anson looks great in this episode at all times, no matter what he's been through. Even later on when he at the end. What was I gonna say? But he's just very crafty, and he's already thinking about how, like, he can tell that this crew is not, you know, a tight knit crew like his crew, you know, and so, you know, it is also doesn't have like this kind of crew the loyalty isn't quite the same as it would be on a Starfleet ship. So he's already starting to manipulate that right from the get-go. So, you know, he's already thinking about how to get out of this.
Oh yeah.
Well before he actually announces, when he, you know, after cooking and he's back in the cell, and he's, you know, making a comment to the woman who's putting him in there, and then
unnamed pirate. I don't think we ever get her name.
But when she puts him back into the cell, you know, he turns to Una and says Alpha Braga 7 or whatever.
I didn't write down. It was like, it was like one of those like heist kind of. Oh yeah, remember so and so. I was like, whatever.
So you know, he had already planted the seeds and been actively starting that, like, you know, which, I mean, in this case, he's thinking well ahead. He knows what he's doing. He's an experienced captain. He, you know, the funny, you know, I think it's cute. I don't know, cute's the right word, but cute at the beginning of the show when they say, "Oh, he's a Boy Scout."
Yes.
You know, so, but he's a crafty Boy Scout, and knows how to start sowing seeds, and you know, is experienced enough to know how to tear part of crew that is.
I think I agree with you. I just think that because we literally jump from the scene where he is, he gets put back into the cage with his crew, and he's talking to Una about starting a mutiny, and then the next scene we get with them, they've already taken over the bridge. You know, we kind of just there's narrative skipping because again, we need to do everything in one episode. I'm just like, wow, that happened. It felt very fast. But
I do like the banter in the cage though, because even Ortegas gets into it and says, "Can you check his head again, please?" Like thinks that he's off his rocker, which I'm all for a little more Ortegas humor in all of this, and
yes, I want to. I agreed. I want to see more of her. I want to see more.
Yes, I do. She's awesome. So please give us more. Give us more, Ortegas. So anyway, getting back to the mutiny that is begun in mind, if not in spirit.
Wait, did you have more to say? I thought I was waiting for you to finish.
No.
Okay,
no, I'm waiting for you.
Back to the episode.
To continue with the
the episode. Yes. We're getting there. All right, so now we go back.
Are we?
Yes, it's happening. So now we go back to the Enterprise, and this is where Spock and Dr. Aspen, they get to sickbay, and they have a moment. Dr. Aspen's talking about her husband / lover. She said husband. They said husband, and that they were a form of they were Vulcan, and because Spock at this point wants to take back the ship, and Dr. Aspen's like, no, we gotta abandon ship, we gotta save ourselves. My husband, he fought back, and we get this whole sob story, and again, this was Dr. Aspen manipulating Spock, and through, I guess, a little bit of reverse psychology, kind of egging Spock on to take back the ship. They get to engineering. We see Nurse Chapel is there, and this is where Captain Angel reveals themselves by basically rerouting command back to the bridge. So this was definitely, I was definitely surprised. I was not expecting this.
This was it was definitely a surprise. But a quick note before all that happens. Before all that happens, it's noted that everyone in engineering is knocked out. So
and by the way, Hemmer has been absent for 3 episodes. I mentioned this in episode 5.
Yes.
Very noticeably absent in this episode, particularly with engineering being completely empty, except for these, pirates have been knocked out. I was like, where's Hemmer?
Yeah.
Where's Hemmer? Literally 3rd episode in a row where he's just not been around. I don't.
Yep.
I feel he's shown up less than T'Pring. I feel we've gotten more. By this point, we've gotten more scenes with T'Pring than Hemmer. It's like, the only substantial scene we got in Hemmer was during the Gorn episode, when he was stuck in the cargo bay with Aura. I was like, where's Hemmer? I don't understand. We're getting solo screen time with this guy. That's bothered me, but here we are. So yes, Captain Angel reveals themselves. This is where they kind of turn B villainy. I'm like, okay, where's the mustache that they need to be twirling? And this is also where they reveal that the colonists were just made up. I was like, okay. They go to the bridge, and this is where they reach out to T'Pring and what's his face?
Stan.
Thank you. Stan is like,
yes.
You have a call from the Enterprise, and T'Pring answers, and Captain Angel is like, if you want Spock alive, you have to get me Zavarius. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. You have to get me Zavarius.
I think you got it.
Who is Zavarius? but apparently he's someone under T'Pring's care, and T'Pring is like, I can't just give you Zavarius if I do, the Vulcan Science Academy is going to take my license. I don't remember exactly what she said. And I will be dishonored or whatever in my family. And
yes,
this is where I think Captain Angel is really shows how good they are at manipulating people, even Vulcans, and realizing that even Vulcans have all these feelings, despite their very emotionless facade. They're still commanded by their feelings, and I think that she proves themselves to be a skillful manipulator, because they know that T'Pring is going to come.
I think that this is Captain Angel is great at this. So
yes.
As we realize they have been throughout this entire episode.
I was manipulated. I was like, I had no idea. Yes. But here we are.
Yes, they manipulated Spock and the audience completely.
T'Pring does show up. We get like a half-second shot of a Vulcan ship. I'm like, Vulcan ship, the ring ship, and then it's literally there for like half a second. And this is where
Spock is never on screen again, by the way.
Never on screen again. Yeah, it was just like for one scene on the blue screen.
Yeah.
And then this is where Spock says to Chapel he has deduced who the Vulcan is. I actually missed this when I watched this episode the first time on the screener, because I literally didn't hear what Spock said. But upon second viewing, Spock is like, yes, I know, I have figured out who this Vulcan is. I was like, oh, okay. But at this point, I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't like trying to figure out like who this Zavarius is, Zavarius is, and what the connection is to Spock. But obviously we get that reveal later. And then Spock, once they get going into it, I mean, like, Captain Angel stuns Spock, but then he comes back, and then he regains consciousness, and then he's like, all right, gotta do something about this. And he tells Nurse Chapel, follow my lead. And this is where we get this kiss between them. I don't know why Captain Angel didn't stop them. Captain Angel kind of let it all happen and like just stun him again. Like I'm not quite sure why you're letting this whole thing play out. But it does. It's kind of passionate. Nurse Chapel kisses back. Obviously, we know she wants Spock in her pants, but the Spock know this don't know. And then Spock and T'Pring, and then they say like a variation of the greeting they always say, which I cannot repeat, but basically it's breaking their vows.
Yes.
Over the view screen.
Yes.
I can't repeat it, but and then again, Captain Angels kind of lets it all happen. And then she's like, are you kidding? Yes. And then once T'Pring is like, oh, I'm not going to give you Zavarius, Captain Angel's like, destroy that ship. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, Zavarius is on that ship. Doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? But they can't, because the Serene Squall has shown up, and Pike has used his backup command codes and disables the ship, disables the Enterprise. And then this is where Captain Angel escapes, but not before giving Spock one final piece of advice, that it's not who he is, but no, it's not what he is, but who he is. I almost messed that up. That's important. And yeah, so we get that resolution. All the pirates are captured, and then we get this last scene with we get Pike pretending to be a pirate. I was like, is this
having a little fun on the bridge
relevant in like the 23rd century? I don't understand. I mean, it's funny, but I was like,
he had fun with that.
Yes, he was. It was Anson Mount having fun, but whatever.
And Una trying not to crack up. You could tell from whether, I don't know if that was in character or out of character or what, but it was yes, it was funny. It was
I mean, this is where I really like Pike, because he can be very playful with his crew and very lighthearted, and that's just really rare. Coming, like, literally all the captains we've had are so, like, pretty serious. I'm just going through them. They're all pretty serious. I mean, like, Kirk had kind of a playful side. Picard is very serious. Sisko is very serious. Jamie was pretty serious. I guess Archer was sometimes playful too, but not to this level. Pike is just like he had just a lightheartedness about him that I really enjoy in the right moments. Then we get this awkward scene in sickbay. Oh, well, sorry, I skipped the scene. So we get Spock and T'Pring renewing their vows. And I don't know if you caught this, but Spock says because T'Pring is like, oh, I figured out that it was all like a ruse. And Spock is like, you know me well. And then he has the scene with Chapel where he says the same thing to Nurse Chapel, you know me well, exact same line. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I'm just wondering how much of it we're supposed to kind of get from these scenes that Spock is into Nurse Chapel. And who knows Spock better? Does T'Pring know Spock better, or Nurse Chapel know Spock better? And I don't feel this is over. I feel there's just going to be this love triangle thing for like years. Like, I don't know.
Gosh, I hope this is all we see of it for this season, to be honest.
I think so. I think for this season probably, but I don't think it's over. Like, I feel, but that's the thing. I kind of like, I want Nurse Chapel to be characterized more beyond just this thing for Spock. Like, and I feel that we don't let go of it, it's gonna just perpetuate, you know? The thing is, Spock has plenty of other things. Like, Spock has like plenty of other aspects of his identity to explore. He's very rich as character, as we know, but it's just like, give Nurse Chapel a break. She needs like something else. Give her like a fish tank, like an aquarium, a hobby, something, you know? Not just, it can't just be about her love life. Like, she shouldn't be defined by her love life. So we'll see where it goes. But obviously we get these two back-to-back scenes between Spock and T'Pring, and then Spock and Chapel. It's obviously a little awkward between Spock and Chapel, but they kind of agreed to be friends, I guess. But then this is where we get the reveal that we're talking about Sybok. And I was screaming because I didn't expect it. I don't know if you expected it. I was like, Sybok! Screaming and running. How did you react to this?
It was like interesting that we brought up Sybok, and that he sort of does admit to knowing about Sybok, or I mean, I guess he would know about Sybok.
It's been a while since I've watched
Star Trek Frontier. 5.
Yeah. But from what I recall, he knows about Sybok. He just doesn't talk about Sybok, right?
Yes.
I need to go back. Yes. It's been literally.
He's never mentioned to Kirk or Bones about
Sybok or Michael. So whatever.
Or Michael, yes.
He probably has like 3 other like half siblings I don't know about, but whatever.
Perhaps. But yes. So it's interesting. So they do kind of get away with him sort of telling Chapel about him knowing who this is about. He doesn't quite say it. So it's very interesting.
He says Sybok, though.
What?
He does say Sybok.
Does he?
Yes, he literally says his name, because he's like, I figured out that it's his alias, and it's my half brother Sybok.
Okay, I don't remember that, but okay. Yeah. So he.
I was screaming.
So, at the final scene when they go to his cell, and they see,
and you see the profile. Yes.
The profile, yes.
The Shaggy profile.
I'm curious who they are getting or have gotten to play Sybok, whether, it's that'd be an interesting casting reveal. I didn't pay attention to the closing credits and whether they
it was like unknown actor. I think it's just like a placeholder. It's like one of those like
okay,
where they don't really show who it is because they probably haven't cast the character yet.
I mean, if they need to, yes, which yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I was fine. I was fine with it. It was interesting in the fact
that there's a twist. I didn't expect it, and I was like, "Ooh, twist!" I love a good twist.
Yes.
I don't know.
So yeah, definitely interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know that much about Sybok, so I'm fine with it. I didn't hate the Final Frontier. I know a lot of people dislike it strongly, but I didn't think it was great, but I didn't mind it. But obviously we don't know much about Sybok, so this is where it kind of like they can give us more Sybok, but they can't give us too much since no one on the original crew know about Sybok. So it can't be, though they've rewritten stuff before, like no one knew who Kan Yun Sing was, but apparently based upon what we know about La'an and what La'an has said, Kan Yun Sing is infamous. So I don't think they've necessarily stuck to being really strict with canon. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's all part of character development. So it's not, and they're skirting canon a little bit, but it's not, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, who cares really? I mean, ultimately, if it drives the story and is interesting, then that's cool. Sure. There's all these little pieces of things that have happened, and
yes, it's just I think it's hard because like when we get into when we're talking about like Rick Berman era Star Trek, they really respected the original series, even though for a while they didn't want to talk about TOS on TNG. Once the floodgates opened with Spock, with Sarek being like showing up, and then Spock showing up in Unification, I feel it kind of opened the doors, and then we get the Scotty episode, and it's like it, and then we get Trial and Tribulations on DS9. It's just like they really tried to stick to quote unquote canon and what's come before. So I think then it's just a pretty big disparity between how they tried to really respect canon back in that age and now where we need to reinvent things, which is fine. I actually don't have a huge issue with it. But if you think about it, the like TNG era Star Trek was like what 20 years after, but they like stuck to the old sets. They stuck to like what like how Star Trek was characterized like 20 years, like decades before, versus now where we're probably talking the same time gap. I guess entertainment has evolved so much in the last 20 years that like trying to show a TOS set or working on a TOS set is not possible, or it wouldn't be accepted. It's just like I think that it's just different. I don't mind it, but I do have a certain level of respect for how the Rick Berman era Star Trek really tried to stick to what came before, in terms of what was set up. So
yeah, I think I don't mind. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Is Dennis home or something?
Yeah, Dennis is home, and they're playing, so he's wound up, Hamish. Anyway, I think that I'm fine with how they're reinventing things and re-envisioning things, and I think it's after 55, 56 years, you kind of have to do that. You kind of have to. So I'm fine with it. I don't think it's a disrespect at all. I think it's just taking it and taking
no.
It's
not disrespecting. It's not. Yeah. it's different. It's different. I like it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
So just saying.
But
yeah,
Rick Berman,
the
Rick Berman era was not, free of its errors and mistakes and poor choices at times. So it's not,
Oh yeah, no. I'm not. No, and I'm not saying that it didn't have its issues. I'm just. What I was trying to say was they made such an effort to try to hold that canon to be true, if you know what I mean. Like the whole DS9 Trial and Tribulations episode, the amount of effort that they put in to insert these new characters into these old scenes, it was crazy. I mean, it was like a big deal at the time. It was cutting edge, and they made such an effort. And then like in the Relics, the Scotty TNG episode, the amount of work they did to recreate the TOS bridge, you know what I mean? It's like I'm talking about that, like like the amount of respect and again, I'm not trying to say we're talking about disrespect, but I'm saying the amount that the extent to which they try to recreate and respect that original environment and what came before was another level. You know what I mean? The amount of work that purely went into it to preserve it. So, is your dog and your partner, are they distracting you?
I mean, Hamish just walked in, so I said, "Go find Dad." So yeah.
Dad 2, like Q2.
Dad 2, yes, D2.
Does he understand? Or is he like staring at you, not really understanding?
Well, he's not really listening. He's doing whatever he wants, which is SOP for the dog. So, hey, yeah. Nah, I don't really. Yeah. Let's move on from canon talk because this is not exciting to me at all.
Sure. No. It's nothing bad. It's just like it's an observation. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, did you have any lingering thoughts about this episode?
No, I am glad that Angel got away and that we hope to see them again. I think it'll be fascinating to see what they do with the character next.
And but probably not till season 2 at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, yeah, I think we've kind of identified the Gorn as the big baddies of this season. But yeah, I do hope that we get to. It'll be interesting because what will Angel's motive the next time they meet with the Enterprise crew be? Will it be, I think that they realize that it's not going to be quite as easy to get Sybok out of prison, and so I think the next time this comes up,
it'll be a heist episode. Maybe they'll try to break Sybok out.
Maybe. I think the stakes will be much higher. I think that Angel will realize, like, they can't rely on the way that they pulled. Yeah, they sort of pulled the emotional strings of Vulcans in that episode to get what they wanted, but that didn't pan out. And so now they'll have to come up with some other very convoluted, but very so they'll have to bypass all of that. And I think the stakes will be much higher if they bring Angel back to, and Angel's mission still is to get Sybok out of prison. So I think that's I think I sort of wonder if Angel won't go the opposite tack and maybe kidnap T'Pring and try to leverage something like that, or I think it'll be a different kind of episode. And it's hard because the character is so great in interacting with Spock and with the crew that it's really hard to envision how they might
Well, I feel the next time they come on, it might be full villain, like they can lean to like full villain. Though I do think that there was something very nuanced about the way that this character is played, because obviously they were undercover, that made the characterization particularly interesting. But I feel next time,
yes, I agree with that. Yeah,
full on like B villain. I don't like, it's like Bond villain kind of deal. I don't know,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I hope that there is something else to explore on this character that makes it interesting and keeps our attention and keeps us guessing. I feel like this is a character that you wanna maximize, like the diversions and the trickery to make you think, to make the audience think one thing while actually doing a completely different thing.
Sure.
So I think it would, again, if they could do that somehow, kudos to them, because that would be really cool to see.
Yeah. Well, they seem clever. The writers seem clever, so hopefully they figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next time we see Captain Angel.
Who knows when that's gonna be? We'll see. We still don't know.
Right.
We still don't have any idea what's coming after this season of Stranger Worlds. Paramount has not announced it.
Yeah, it's still nothing.
As far as I know, unless we've heard something that I haven't.
No, I haven't seen anything up till today. No. So.
Well, there we go. All right. Well, this is our episode recap format. We'll see if it lasts. In the meantime, Mike, did you want to talk a bit about our sponsor?
Sure. Fansets is the exclusive sponsor of Deep Space Pride and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. And we've got some new releases from Fansets. We got them the next day after our last recording, of course. But they have released the micro crew set of Star Trek Prodigy, which is really cool.
Yes, I saw that. Yay, Prodigy.
So yeah, you can buy the whole set, which is actually a pretty good deal. I think you essentially get one for free if you buy all seven characters. Yes. If you buy them individually, they're releasing them individually over time. So right now you can only get Gwyndala or Janeway if you are just collecting certain crew members. So yeah, but the complete series 1 pin collection includes all 7 main characters for Prodigy, which is really cool. They also released the Future and Perfect Admiral deltas, both in pin and magnetic, and then some pins for Captain and Commander from Star Trek 2. So quite a lot of pins. Oh, and I forgot one more is also the Woman of Trek Esri Dax got released as well. So
okay, love me some Esri.
Yeah, so lots of new pins to go over to Fansets and put into your cart. Yeah, if you use the code TrekGeeks, all one word in all caps, you're going to get 10% off your order. And if you order that Prodigy set, you're going to get free shipping because it's over $30 in the US. So we want to thank Fansets for being our sponsor and the sponsor of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Thanks, Fansets. Cool. Well, we would love to hear from you when it comes to this episode. But first, rate us on your podcast platform of choice, whether that be iTunes / Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. We will love a positive review from you, because there are plenty of Star Trek podcasts and we'd love to stand out a little bit. That being said, we also love to hear from you. You can reach us on email, deepspacepride@gmail.com, or you can reach us on social media on Twitter and Instagram @deepspacepride. Cool.
There we go.
Right. Well, there we go. Another episode in the can.
Another episode, and our last one. I guess we'll do one more during the last week of June. So
because someone is going on a trip soon.
Oh no, I wasn't even thinking that. I was thinking Pride Month still.
Oh, when are you leaving?
So
mid-June?
Not till
July,
the second week of July.
Okay,
yeah,
that's still very soon. Still very soon.
It's coming up. Yes, not soon enough, but soon. Yes.
Yeah.
No, so
you say you're gonna be working what, essentially like 5 days in the month of July or something?
Maybe less. Yes, maybe 4, maybe 3.
All right. Well, might as well just take those days off. God.
Well, no, those are actual days that I probably have to do a little work, actually. So yes. Anyway, but anyway, yes, because we all got the week of July 4th off.
That's very lucky.
So, yeah. So without taking any of our PTO time, which is really cool. So
awesome. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I don't get that shit.
Kudos for that. So yeah, no, I was thinking, so I guess this is our last Pride Month episode. So because our next one will be released on July 1st.
You're right. Yeah.
So
the next one's gonna be released on July 1st.
Yep. So happy Pride to everyone.
Happy Pride.
Yes. New York Pride is this weekend, obviously, this coming weekend. I did hear from someone back in my former area that Boston canceled their Pride, which is interesting.
Why?
I think for COVID reasons or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But Providence, where I used to live, had their Pride, and I guess it was very big because Boston had canceled. So a lot of people came down to party there. And
okay.
But yeah, it's gonna be a busy weekend in the city, and yeah. But however you celebrate Pride, enjoy yourselves, be safe, and we'll see you back here next week.
Yeah, bye everyone. Live long, prosper.
Bye.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.